everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from springtime in Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast,
I'm Frank Feldman.
and I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on today's show, Dan, there's a lot going on to make one a little crazy.
Oh, my
these
God.
days.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is madness in the world right now, and I
How do you survive that?
how does one keep from letting the madness make yourself mad? Because
Yeah.
frankly, it's coming for you.
Yeah.
Or rather, it's coming for me. I don't know if it's coming for you guys. Maybe you're more stable than we are. But it feels like a madness-inducing time.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about, hopefully, how to stave off the crazy
Yeah.
as we all experience a global pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, maybe you noticed, hopefully you're not really noticing it, but we are social distancing ourselves.
Yeah,
Again.
we're
2
we're
episodes in a row now.
different. We're not in the same room. We can't look at each other's facial expressions,
Which
is
makes
probably
it
good.
hard. No,
You guys can't see our facial expressions, so why should we be able to see each other's?
Because we've gotten used to reading each other while we do
It's
this.
true. It's
So
true.
It's hard.
All of the gestures that we do just for us, they're not for you guys. Not
right.
really. Let's.
All right.
What do you
Well,
got? Let's do a story.
Yeah, see, this is why I didn't know you were ready for me to start a story. All right.
We quit the show. We just quit. It's over.
So Dan, I want to challenge you. Let's go as long as we can without talking about COVID-19.
Oh,
Does that sound like a deal?
okay.
Okay, I've got something.
I think we can go a long, long time. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, so I'm going to start with, and I looked hard. I looked hard for this story. Okay, this is a straight from Bangladesh. It's the story of an imam, a Muslim imam, a cleric, right? You know, he apparently made history in Bangladesh by being the first imam to lead an Islamic funeral for a sex worker.
Oh,
Which is, I think, pretty cool of him, right?
you said
Because-
he's going to make history, and I had no idea where you were going with that. So
It would have to be something bad, right? But no, this is actually
surprisingly nice.
yeah, right. His name is Ghulam Mustafa. I want to get that out of the way because it's probably the last time you're going to hear from Ghulam Mustafa.
Well, that's probably
the
true.
people, the good people of Bangladesh, mainly the Muslims of Bangladesh, and probably just a portion of them, but they're outraged. They're absolutely outraged that he would do this. What started off as an act that was being hailed by rights activists and the media, apparently, they saw it as maybe a start to ending social ostracism and apparently the ghetto-like miserable lives of sex workers. Oddly enough, prostitution is legal in Bangladesh.
Oh.
That caught me off guard. It's actually kind of a legacy type thing thanks to the British colonial era.
Wait, the British made it so that it was okay for sex workers to work?
Apparently, that's what they're saying.
Wow. Okay.
I think the British colonial system was odd. I think there were oddities, things that one might not expect. But nonetheless, he says, I did it, meaning performed the funeral, at the request of the police. Since then, villagers and shopkeepers have been discussing it and criticizing me. They are asking why I have done it, as if or as it has never happened before, which is, anyway.
Yeah, I think about that. Here's the thing, who everybody will be okay with getting a proper Muslim funeral? All of that sex workers' customers. Like,
yeah,
every last one of them will get a fine, upstanding funeral because nobody tattled on them or whatever.
Right.
Or if they did, there's some sort of wink and a nod, and then everything's fine.
Right.
But yeah, you let the sex worker themselves have a funeral, and then suddenly everybody's just going to lose their damn minds.
Right. No, that's an excellent point. They it's obviously a power thing, right? Or a social, whoever's paying for sex, that's not a bad thing. But if you're paid,
it's naughty, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But using your body for money,
I think in a system where I have no idea what it's like in Bangladesh. It sounds like it's a horror. It sounds like it's truly awful. But there are places in this world that have, legalized, sex work and regulate it, right?
Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be a horrible thing, right?
No, it can be a great thing. I have no problem with sex work. I think if it's done in a healthy and careful way, some people, providing a service. I think it's great.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to take us, meanwhile, to Ireland, the great Republic of Ireland, because I don't know if you know this, but Ireland has a history with their religions in general. Catholics, Protestants. There's been some dust ups over time.
Okay.
They haven't necessarily all agreed on what the right religion was. Well, now they like many places have to approve people who want to do things like minister and officiate weddings, that sort of thing. And one person there, a guy who actually runs a podcast called the Free Thought Prophet podcast.
Okay.
His name is John Hamill, and he was talking about how public policy was favoring Christians. No shock there. Specifically Catholics, he said. So he said he was, as a Pastafarian, as a follower of the flying spaghetti monster, he wanted to have the same rights as a Catholic did, and was summarily denied, because the apparently the government of Ireland sees that as a parody religion, not a real religion, which I kind of am okay. Like, that's probably true. It's probably kind of counts as a parody religion. Anyway, then he changed it up. He decided to join a different religion, stopped believing in the noodly appendages of the FSM, and went to a religion called the Syncretic Jesus Christ Church, which apparently is a church that likes the teachings of Jesus, just doesn't believe that he's real or divine or anything.
Oh.
It's basically just, there's no supernatural stuff. It's just his moral teachings are pretty okay, and that's where they're at.
Okay.
So he reapplied for status under that religion and was dismissed. Was rejected. The Registrar General apparently deemed his conversion vexatious.
Really?
Yeah.
Vexatious.
They basically, they decided that it was unacceptable.
That's the word they came up with.
That's the word, yeah. Which very interesting. I guess they thought he was just taking the piss when he decided that he got to change religions, which is so funny because basically what they're saying is we get to decide if you're being honest about changing your religion.
That is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Why?
So there you go.
Why does that matter?
Great question. Why can't you just say, look, he says he believes the thing, so done, no problem. Let's just move along. It's not like, you're worried that his religion is going to somehow, change everybody else's religion or whatever. Like I just the logic is missing. I would say.
I think what's important here, Dan, is that it's really important to make sure that people that they're sincere in what they're saying, Dan. And I think that is a very good role for government to take. Yeah. No. This is I am glad they're looking out for this on this issue. Because it could just be a total mess if otherwise. Be an absolute disaster.
And we know already that they test thoroughly and vet each and every priest and rabbi that comes through to make sure that they are not also being just vexatious about their ordinations or whatever. I'm sure I'm sure that they have some sort of rigorous thing that they put people through.
They can see into people's hearts. Good on
It's true. Isn't that nice?
Yeah. The priest would
never. We've done a good job so far of avoiding that virus.
Yeah, I know.
Let's keep it up. What's your next topic?
My next topic has to do with an Orthodox. It was a video, actually, of an Orthodox priest. This video came out. Well, I mean, it seems innocent enough. This is in the Romanian city of Cluj.
Perfect. Well
and
done.
The priest is giving communion to a long line of people, and all he's doing is using a shared spoon. He just keeps reusing the same spoon. This is no big deal. This is no big deal, Dan.
I think you've broken our streak. I feel that you've broken the streak.
I mean, I guess I don't get what are you talking about? I don't get what you're talking about.
What could possibly go wrong there?
Well, in a world of COVID-19, we need like a little sound effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Here it goes, guys. Apparently this was right after Romania imposed tough new measures to try to stop the spread of coronavirus. But because the priests had not yet received word from the patriarch about what to do, they just went about business as usual, even though the government had said, no, not a good idea.
Yeah.
The patriarch must chime in.
Otherwise, what are you going to do? Like, how could you possibly know what to do?
Yeah.
Like, what if a week goes by where you don't sip some nasty wine and eat a cracker? What if that happened?
Well,
you could die.
I do have to say, this communion, there's a picture here.
Yeah.
Spoon?
Yeah. Spoon me some wine.
It looks like he's like feeding her a sugar cube. Like, I don't know what this little, it's like a brown blob of some, it's in black and white, but like, it's this blob on a spoon. What is he giving her? I thought I knew what communion was.
In the Romanian Orthodox, I'm pretty sure that they use gelatinous wine.
Ooh, yummy.
Then it's the body and the blood of Christ all in one.
Wine shots. Or like Jello shots. Jello shots.
Ooh.
Yeah, with
Why
wine.
have I never seen that?
Yeah.
You'd think that Mormons would have come up with that somehow, or ex-Mormons who were like obsessed with Jell-O, but now they can drink wine. You'd think they would have come up with it.
I mean, there's already Jell-O shots. I mean, dude, it's already pretty trashy.
Yeah, I'm saying we'll class it up with some wine. It's so they're using vodka over there. Come on, man. Let's go classy. Let's do it with wine.
Have you ever made Jell-O shots?
I haven't done it. No.
No, I haven't either. I thought that might be a good fodder, but turned out to not be.
No, but I've consumed them on numerous occasions.
Have
so
you really?
That. Sure.
When? How?
Parties?
Why? What? What kind of parties
What are you talking about?
To?
Where is this shock coming from? You've done it too, I'm sure.
I would never.
All right. Well, I'm going to let's talk about Pennsylvania, a state here in these United States where a state representative has tried to put down a resolution in the state house calling for a state day of humiliation, fasting, and prayer.
Are they pointing fingers? What do they mean?
I feel like everybody needs to pants somebody.
Humiliation. I humiliate you.
I feel like we're gonna pants people. We're gonna like throw water balloons when they're not expecting, and then just laugh at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this in reference to?
Well, it's in reference to COVID, to the coronavirus, to the plague that is besieging our world right now.
Are they shaming people who aren't like locking down properly?
No, it's basically about it's about God and how we're supposed to be, how literally all of this whole thing is about. Whereas it is the duty of nations as well as of men to own their dependence upon the overruling power of God, to confess their sins and transgressions in humble sorrow, and whereas with assured hope that genuine repentance will lead to mercy and pardon, and to recognize the sublime truth announced in the Holy Scriptures and proven by all history that those nations only are blessed whose God is the Lord, and it goes on and on and on like that.
Yawn.
It says, insomuch as we know that by his divine law, nations like individuals are subject to punishments and chastisement in the world, and whereas may we not justly fear that the awful calamity of this pandemic, which now desolates this commonwealth, may be a punishment inflicted upon us for our presumptuous sins to the needful end of our national reformation as a whole people. What?
What is this?
What are you fucking
what
talking
century
about?
are these people living in?
Right?
What?
It's like she's never heard what a virus actually is before. It's like, okay, you believe that, fine, but god damn it, like why is the concept of a secular government so fucking hard to understand? Why is that so difficult? It should be the easiest, most obvious. I mean, I was raised with the idea that America was supposed to be about inclusion, right? It's the big melting pot.
Yeah.
And everybody's a part of it, and we get something good from everybody. Boy, that is not how people are thinking about this country now.
No, Dan. It's fine. They can come here and they can melt into what we currently have.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Feel free to melt in the pot. We're just going to then inject you into a mold that looks exactly like a Christian.
Exactly. No, that's.
We need you to.
Yes.
We need you to look like a white, straight, boring Christian person.
Yes, that's what it's all about. No. Yeah.
So that's happening. Hopefully, she'll get it passed, and then she'll be able to pray. And the whole state will pray, and they'll solve it.
Yeah. I love a good proclamation, though, Dan.
Yeah.
The whereases,
I know you do.
right? Like, we need more whereases in our lives, I think.
I feel like
my life.
At this point, they know they don't know what whereas means. Like half of these state legislators don't even know what that word means. They just know that every sentence has to start with that word.
Yeah.
So they just keep throwing it in there. Like, what would happen if they didn't put whereas in front of everything?
I don't think it would be a proclamation. Not in the same way. You cannot proclaim without some whereases. You just can't.
Oh my God.
You cannot.
Well,
because you have to set it all up, and it sounds so official, right? If you're like, whereas, blah de blah,
right?
Well,
whereas I am pissed off about it, I propose we finish this story and move on to your next story.
Okay. Let's see. This, Dan, is... Oh, God. This is another coronavirus. Are you familiar?
It's all coronavirus. Listen, you guys, you can't find a story about religion that's not about coronavirus right now. The fact that we had 2 on our show makes it is a Christmas miracle. So just buckle in. If you're done hearing about coronavirus, you just, I don't know, don't be, because we got more.
Well, okay, here's the deal. It could be coronavirus and priests fondling children. Like there are always plenty of those stories. Like I was finding plenty of priest gets in trouble for touching a kid. Priest gets in trouble for this. Pastor has sex with so and so, and it's like, okay, well, there's always those, right?
Yeah,
which we usually don't. We occasionally there's one of those that's just good enough that it makes the show, but usually, or
if it has something unique about it. But Jesus Christ, we see that so often. Like it's so de rigueur that why would we bother?
Well, right now, coronavirus. That's what we've got. Ralph Drollinger, I think. Is that how you say the name? Ralph Drollinger?
Yes, it's all of them. All of the above.
He's the guy who does the weekly Bible study with Trump's cabinet. Are you familiar with this whole thing?
Yeah.
How,
Trump doesn't go.
Well, yeah. I mean, he doesn't need it, but because he's he's Trump.
He thinks he's the one they're praying to.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so this is the minister who runs that whole thing, right?
Okay.
And this is what he has to say about coronavirus. This is from some written materials that he prepared for this Bible study. Now, this article actually says with Donald Trump and members of his White House cabinet.
Oh.
So maybe Trump started going to this thing. I don't know.
Or maybe he just emailed it to everybody.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so he says, relative to the coronavirus pandemic crisis, this is not God's abandonment wrath, nor his cataclysmic wrath. Rather, it is sowing and reaping wrath, right? This is an important distinction to draw, right? He says, a biblically astute evaluation of the situation strongly suggests that America and other countries of the world are reaping what China has sown due to their leaders' recklessness and lack of candor and transparency. He's really onto something here. I think it's worth going on. He criticizes the religion of environmentalism and people who show a proclivity toward lesbianism and homosexuality. He says that these people have been, quote, allowed by the faithful to gain high positions in and influence in our culture.
Oh, my.
So he says that these high positions in our government, he says it includes high positions in our government, our educational system, our media, and our entertainment industry. This is tragic, unfortunate, and costly. So he says that these people are largely responsible for God's consequential wrath on our nation. So I'm glad that he's got the ear of the president, and
yeah, good thing he has White House credentials.
Yeah.
Can you imagine getting your brain so fucked in the head that you think that people who are trying to protect the environment around us and like keep the environment safe are like are against God in some way. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine God being pissed off at somebody who's like,
Trying to
hey, save the spotted owl, how about?
Well, see, here's the deal, Dan. Yeah, but like, God really only cares about the economy, right?
Yeah.
Especially that, like they have created this God that legitimately, that's its biggest concern, I think, right? Like, because watch how they start to handle this whole coronavirus thing, and Trump trying to, like restart the economy too soon and all that kind of crap before the we've even like barely started on social distancing and whatnot. They are going to couch it. They're going to work hard to try to justify, and to try to make it acceptable that he's weighing things correctly, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to do it. They are going to say that it is okay that we sacrifice our elderly, our infirm, our weak, our immunocompromised in any way, way or form, right? Like,
yeah, they're already doing it. The lieutenant governor of Texas already said that.
Jesus Christ.
He literally said
but that's what God would want.
That the old folks would rather that they die than that the economy tank. Yeah, it's just, of course they would.
How sick is that? And like, if somebody,
it's super sick.
I want to know. I want them to parade these old people around before they die, though. I need to hear it from their mouths, right? I need them to actually say, you know what? I'm willing to die for the economy,
right?
Fuck and it's not, these people.
Don't
Fuck
get it twisted too.
I mean,
the way that they paint it, it's like if the stock market goes down, then everybody loses their job or whatever. No. They're worried because the stock market's going to go down and rich people lose a lot of their money.
Oh, absolutely.
The stock market doesn't affect average Joes the way it affects them. They care about the rich folks.
Yeah.
And that is literally the end of the story.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me continue though. Because we need to make sure we get all of this out, because he really does want us to understand what this means, right?
Okay. Good.
He says that he doesn't think that we should label the coronavirus as a form of God's cataclysmic wrath, such as the form of wrath he manifests in the Old Testament with the flood, Sodom and Gomorrah, or the unparting of the Red Sea. He said that form of God's wrath is void of a human curative, and I think we'll soon see a human cure for the coronavirus.
I love this defining of the wraths.
It's important.
How many wraths does God have? I want to know the number and the specific, like how to tell one wrath from another.
I bet if you asked this guy how many there are, he would know. He's like, there are 4. Of course there are 4.
6 wraths.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And like one sort of half wrath.
How did you know? Well, I guess there are the major wraths, and then there are the minor wraths.
There's lesser wraths.
Yeah. You do need to make sure we're talking about the same thing here.
Right. Good Lord. All right. Well, my last story, it's something that made me, I was so furiously mad for a whole day after this happened. And
really?
I'm not one who's easily shook like this. It's
I'm
not
curious,
that's
actually.
it is not my way
Yeah.
to be mad for a long time. But,
okay.
Whoo!
So what shook
let me tell
Dan
you something.
Beecher? Yeah, I want to.
The Mormons. I was raised Mormon. You were raised Mormon. We understand Mormons. We know the Mormons. And one of the things that we that I kind of count on with Mormons is that they are obedient to their leaders. Like, for the most part, when they say they don't drink, they mostly really genuinely don't drink. And when they say they don't smoke, they genuinely mostly don't smoke. And like they have their problems or whatever, but like when the church tells them to do something, for the most part, the Mormons that I know, or the Mormons at least that live in my head, just obey what they're told.
Right.
So the Mormon Church has actually been reasonably responsible during this whole COVID-19 thing, during the whole coronavirus pandemic. They've closed all of their churches worldwide indefinitely.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
They said, don't come to general conference. We're just going to broadcast it. It's not going to be a thing that, that we're going to, that you come to.
Right.
I thought that was great. And now they're bringing home a lot of their missionaries. Now, I guess that's the right choice. I don't know, but it just seems like, you kind of need to just cancel missionary work for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So plane loads of missionaries came in from the Philippines.
Yeah.
They were specially chartered planes.
Yeah.
That just brought missionaries home.
Yeah, and an important
Salt Lake
detail
City.
about these chartered planes is that these were larger than the planes that typically fly into Salt Lake City. I think that's kind of important because it means that there was literally a flood of people coming off these planes.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So, because they knew that there was going to be a flood of people, and they knew that there was supposed to be, that we need to keep our social distance in order for people to stay safe, there were theoretically instructions that said, have one family member come out to pick up your missionary, have them sit in the car and wait. The missionary will come home, they'll put their things in the trunk or whatever, and then you just literally just drive away. Don't get out of the car.
Right.
And go, and then the missionary is just supposed to self-quarantine for 2 weeks.
Right.
All of that these are judicious things to do, and the appropriate measures to take, and the Mormons fucking ignored it entirely. They showed up en masse, crowded around in the Salt Lake Airport parking garage, and cheered with signs as the missionaries came in and literally created a death hazard for everybody.
Yeah.
It was the most ridiculous thing. I could not wrap my head around it because I expect it from like rogue, evangelicals who, they have their own small some pastor has his own small congregation down there, and they're all going to defy it's a Democrat hoax and blah blah blah. But Mormons they usually pragmatic people. They believe in medicine and stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently not. Apparently I have to readjust my view on who Mormons are, because if you try to tell them not to celebrate their kid coming home from their mission, which that's a big tradition for them. They love to throw a big party and greet their... If you ever fly into Salt Lake City after this is done, you will see somebody there with a big sign that's greeting their missionary coming home. Yeah. It's annoying, but it's their thing, and they're very excited about it. Well,
before 9/11, Dan, do you remember how it was? They would... the terminals, the concourses would just be filled with people greeting the missionaries right at the gate.
As they came out of the gate.
Yeah, which was horrifying, right? And so weird. Well, then after 9/11, they moved them outside of security, obviously. And so they're like hanging out, but it's crowded and it's weird, and it's like it's kind of gums up the exits. They're building a new airport in Salt Lake right now, and the new one, they actually have a reception area to put all the Mormon families. Yeah, that's how big this is, right? Like they're specifically they've built them an area to greet the missionaries as they return home.
Yeah. So
it's a big you're right. It's a big deal. And this brought down the wrath of like the state government.
Yeah.
The city government, the mayor was pissed. her tweet about it was just like, what the fuck, basically.
Yeah, but she's the mayor of a liberal city. You can ignore her. But the governor, the lieutenant governor, both very staunch Mormons, were very disappointed. Mitt Romney came out with a thing that was like, what the fuck, you guys?
Yeah.
Only in Mormon talk, so it was just very disappointed. It's just, it was so infuriating to me. And then I went for a drive and I saw people all over the park playing with each other and just big groups. And some of my smart friends are not socially distancing well. And it's just like, come on!
The times that I've gone and I've had to go out, right? I'm horrified. People aren't taking this seriously. They're just not. And it scares me because if we don't, everybody knows at this point, if we don't flatten the curve, right?
There's not going to be
hospitals
beds.
Are fucked. Look at the footage from Italy and what's happening in New York now, right? They're fucked. And it's
all of the people who said it was a hoax, all of these pastors and whatever, so many people who were like, no, we're going to do it. We're going to go to church. We're going to do the things. Some of them did it. But like, for instance, ever since you and I went to the Great Passion Play in Arkansas, when we were just 6 years ago or 7 years ago, I've been on their email list, which I've allowed to happen because I think it's funny. And they kept sending me emails about, we're still going to do Good Friday and Easter services. Don't worry. We have a 4,000 seat house and we're only going to allow in 1,000. So there's plenty of room between everybody. And so we're going to do it. And then literally like days later, I get the email, everything's canceled. It's just like all of these, so many people were like, this is a hoax. And then days later, like, we need to take this seriously. Yeah. This is scary.
Yeah.
You guys.
I know. And it's just getting started.
The problem is the second
started.
you say it's a hoax, somebody believes you. And guess what they don't do when you say it's not? They don't revise their view.
No.
They don't change their position based on you, the person who made them believe it in the first place, saying, nuh-uh. So, there you go. Hey, listen, if you folks would like to write to us, you can do so, podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGI Atheist, and smash that like button.
And while you're there, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge. Request to join. It is a closed group. We will let you in. Also, follow us on Twitter at TGIA Atheist.
You know what? Do all those things. We need community now more than ever.
Absolutely.
And everybody's got to be nice in the Members Only Lounge. Be nice in the Members Only Lounge. Extra nice, by the way, right now. But yeah, it's a good place to go and just have some community.
Yeah, and we'll be right back. Hey, Dan.
Yes.
Every once in a while, you get to see somebody like a Jim Baker type.
Yeah,
specifically Jim Baker this time, have to face the reality of
reality.
Of reality, right?
Yeah. Our listeners may remember that a few weeks ago he was touting one of his products, his silver solution, as being. He had a guest on who claimed that though this hadn't been tested on this strain of coronavirus, it had proven that it could deactivate coronavirus, and it was basically just going to cure everything. And
amazing.
And then a couple of government agencies, a couple of state agencies put the hammer down and told him to shut the fuck up. You can't make those claims anymore.
Yeah.
And he had to do something. And this is what he did. And I find it kind of delightful.
Certain government agencies have claimed that some statements made by guests on this show could have potentially been interpreted to give the wrong impression about Silver Solutions treating or curing COVID-19. While I strongly disagree with the idea that these statements were in context or in any way misleading, I feel I have a biblical duty to lead with knowledge, understanding. Jeremiah 3:15, God's word tells us to test everything, keep what is good, and stay away from anything that is evil. 1 Thessalonians 5:19 through 22. Stay away even from the appearance of evil. In response to the claims of these governmental agencies, and after prayerful thought, we have suspended offering Silver Solutions, wonderful products that we have, for a decade, we have sent out these products. This time to avoid even the appearance that our guest comments might mislead any of our partners. My heart is broken. We know this is an inconvenience for those of you, our partners, who regularly use the Silver Sauce solution and have done so for decades. Please be patient with us as we work through this process. We believe this is the right step. This coronavirus is a serious disease. With all that is going on in the world, please listen to the directions of the public health officials, our President of the United States. Pray without ceasing and trust in God. Amen?
Amen.
Amen.
We appreciate it so very, very much.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that and clarifying the statements. And thank you for
It has tore
believing
up
in us.
a lot of our viewers in our ministries. Our phones have jammed. And I want to tell you, 99 and 999 people have been very kind.
Absolutely.
They're very, very kind.
Yes.
And I am so heartbroken. It's just like there's warfare.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's ever been warfare in this country, it's right now.
Right.
I don't know. I think there was warfare during the Civil War.
I feel like there's,
I think
usually
there's actually
wars are much
legit-
more like warfare. Wow.
Oh my God! To like pull up Bible verses that are like, you have to like.
Did you catch how squishy his Bible verses got, by the way? Like, he started one Bible verse and ended with another, and then, like, just tagged on that one. Was like, just, oh, no, that was Thessalonians. I switched in the middle. It's just so weird. But, yeah, I mean, I love that he made it, well, this was our good biblical decision, not, we really could have gotten sued, like, we were into the ground.
Heap of hurt. Yeah.
So, yeah, really funny.
good God.
And what's really funny is that I don't think any of the government agencies were asking him to stop selling the stuff, which they should be doing, but none of them were saying that. They were just saying, stop claiming it does stuff.
Right. I bet his lawyer was like, get that shit off your website.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if anybody now claims that they, took it using that advice, right? Doesn't matter. Oh, God.
All right. Well, I'm going to cleanse us of that icky feeling by talking to you just briefly about the fact that we cannot really, we shouldn't be going out to buy things unless it's an absolute necessity.
True.
Which is why I think it's a good idea to check out Harrys.com for all your shaving needs.
That was a good lead-in.
Thank you. Yeah, because they mail it to you. Look, okay, here's the deal. Harrys.com, if you go to harrys.com/TGIA, so that's HARRYS.com/TGIA, you will join the 10 million who have already tried it. You will look, here's the deal. They send you to your house And you can do it on a subscription basis or without a subscription. Either way, high quality blades at a fair price. It's $2 a blade. You can afford it. It's it cuts out the middlemen. They manufacture their blades themselves in Germany at a blade factory, which is where you'd want to do it. It'd be weird to do it at any other kind of factory. But they've been honing blades for over a century at this place. So
wow.
They know what they're doing. So listen. If all the listeners of our show can redeem their Harry's trial set at harrys.com/TGIA, at which point you will get a weighted ergonomic handle with a firm grip, the 5-blade razor with lubricating strip and trimmer blade, the rich lathering shave gel, which we love so much because it smells good and it feels great on you, with aloe. It keeps your skin hydrated, and a travel blade cover to keep your razor dry and easy to grab on the go. And that's all free to you when you just drop our name by going to harrys.com/TGIA. And you get to start shaving better today, and you don't have to go out to buy your blades. So
in this scary, scary world.
In this genuinely frightening world. Well, Frank, we had some folks write into us.
That's true.
So I feel like we should talk to them. I haven't talked to you about this, Frank. I'm springing something on you. But I'm going to have you play some audio that was sent to us from Sasha.
Okay.
Who writes, "Hi guys, hope you're keeping healthy and okay through this hectic time. Just thought you would like this clip from Stephen Lett of the Jehovah's Witness governing body. He seems so gleeful about this pandemic. Thanks again for the great podcast and all you do."
So the events unfolding around us are making clearer than ever that we're living in the final part of the last days, undoubtedly the final part of the final part of the last days, shortly before the last day of the last days.
Oh my!
Wow.
Well, I mean, the Jehovah's Witnesses. They love the end times. That's what they live for. Their whole thing, right, is about Jesus is coming back.
Stoked. They are very excited about all of this. It is.
I mean, if that's what you're looking for, your entire life is like cataclysm and scary shit. Well, we got it in spades right now, Dan.
Yeah. It's all happening, people. It's fingers crossed it gets worse, you guys. Yeah, because that's the best thing that could happen.
Boy, I bet at the beginning of like World War II, they were so stoked. And like the Great Depression, they're like, "Oh, it's happening!"
Yeah.
And then when were they founded?
About the same time as the Mormons. 30s.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they were newer than that.
No, they're in the same.
They've had literally many disappointments.
Yeah,
Civil War, that horrible thing that was like the Depression, but in the late 1800s, and the World War I. Like all these poor people. Things keep happening that seem like the end times are coming.
This one's got
Then they're disappointed.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jenna Bell wrote into us saying, "Hi, Frank and Dan. I've been meaning to write into your show since the whole discussion on sneezing. That was a little bit ago. But now that the end of the world is in sight, I wanted to also write on that. First off, there are locust swarms happening right now in Africa. I don't know about you, but part of me is excited to hear all about it from our favorite pastors. I'm not, however, as much looking forward to seeing how the United States as a whole reacts. Perhaps we will just keep sticking our heads in the sand like we have been during this whole pandemic. Secondly, I believe it was in Sawbones or Stuff You Missed in History class. They talked about why we say bless you or something akin to cheers or to your health. Sneezing was considered an omen, and different areas considered them to be good omens or evil ones. Later, a pope made it popular by saying, during the bubonic plague, to say God bless you in hopes to stop the devil from entering your body. Did a real great job there.
Yeah.
Many lives were saved, I'm sure. Anyway, thanks for the podcast. My puppy and I listen every Monday.
Oh,
so that's thank you very much for that, Jennabelle. Yeah, there's locusts in Africa. There was an earthquake in Salt Lake. There was an earthquake in
a week of aftershocks, Dan.
Yeah, they continued, although I haven't been feeling them. They have been continuing.
Yeah.
There was also an earthquake in in Croatia.
Yeah.
And then there were tsunami warnings in Hawaii. It is a cataclysm. It's the end of the world.
Or it's just the planet being the planet.
Yeah, sometimes they all just happen at the same time.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, all of these things are pretty normal, and then sometimes they happen at the same time. And now we have, like, global news, so we actually know about it.
Exactly.
So that's pretty freaky. But I wouldn't worry too much, except about, like, do worry enough, the proper amount about the coronavirus. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about the biblical end of the world. Hey, we have a few people to thank.
We do.
And I wanted to thank them. Mark sent us a one-time donation, and he comes in at the faithful level. We thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you,
Jerry also decided to give us a one-time donation. I believe Jerry is a patron, but he decided he wanted to kick in a little bit of extra because he knows that these are hard times for us podcasters out there in the world. So he
really
did. He
nice
kicked us a bunch of extra money. Thank you so much.
That's really
I'm going to
nice.
crown him an unofficial but official Pope. I am.
Oh yeah.
Granting
Absolutely.
him Pope status. You are now Pope Jerry. Well done. It is rarefied air, Jerry, and we really appreciate it. And I believe you have one more person you need to thank.
I do. As always, we have our top donor, our Lord and Savior, Davis.
Now listen, kids.
Oh yeah.
Y'all can be a part of this. If you like we are in industries that are hurting right now, believe me, we get it. Feel free to postpone or whatever you need to do. Do what you need to do for you. Our show is free. If you can't afford to contribute, that's fine. If you're safe, if you got a cushy government job or whatever, we maybe think about it. We could sure use the help. Anyway, however you want to think about it, we do this for free. It is for you, and we certainly thank you for even just tuning in. Go ahead and give us 5 stars. If you can't afford anything, go give us 5 stars somewhere. We could use that help too.
Some listening platform. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. If you do want to contribute, you just go to thankgodimatheist.com, click on the support tab, and that'll give you your options, and we greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Dan.
Oh, Frank.
So I've been doing this little thing where I've just been walking around with my fingers in my ears.
Yeah.
And basically just squinting and not looking at anything except to, like, for obstacles so I don't hurt myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pay attention right now, Dan.
It's not safe to pay attention.
It's bad.
It's bad for your emotional and psychological well-being currently to pay attention to things. It's not healthy. Oh, you guys, it is a rough time right now.
Yeah.
I said before, I am normally a pretty stable person. I'm hard to shake. I'm hard to rattle.
Yeah.
And lately, been rattling some, man. Little things are throwing me off. And I think what it's pointing out is that, even if all you're doing is just staying in place, this is such a huge disruption to all of our, daily lives.
Well, yeah,
it's going to be rough.
Yeah, and if you are doing what, they're recommending, if you're able to, or, you don't work in an essential field or, whatever,
right?
You're staying at home, right?
Yeah.
And you're literally isolating. That is the word, right?
Yeah.
Like you were staying away from people and you were alone, and it fucking sucks. Like,
or worse yet, your shitty kids are at home too, and you have to be with them the whole time.
And that's your only social outlet.
It's just yelling at your kids. Yeah.
No,
let me
like-
tell you something. We're all feeling it right now, and we got to stay sane. We got to keep ourselves together.
Yeah.
And so I think it's time to get creative. It's time to get clever about it.
PlayStations is what I've heard. There's this like Townville or something. This game that just came out.
Oh yeah, there's an Animal Crossing. I think
Animal Crossing. That's what it is. Yeah. And apparently, and like I don't know anything about these things, so I'm going to get some things wrong. Sorry, guys. But like it's a very social game, and people are like really like kind of flocking to it. I heard about this on the radio today, and they're like, you know, being able to like use this as a social outlet while playing the game. I guess somebody got married on it. I guess.
Wow.
Like they held their ceremony, so people were able to come and like. I don't know. It sounds
just
pretty nerdy.
Their avatars
like,
are all standing together at least.
I guess that's how it works.
It does make one wonder if maybe this virus was engineered by Nintendo. Is that possible? Either which way, what's neat is that we do have some pretty good tech that has never been available during a pandemic before. Yeah. So, you know, for the love of God, Zoom, FaceTime, whatever, like get your, if it will help you, get all your friends together, do shots from different parts of the world or from your your individual respective houses. Yeah. Have some fun with it. Yeah. Watch a show. Pull a When Harry Met Sally and watch a show together separate.
Oh, that's cute. What, did you just watch that movie?
No.
How'd you pull that reference?
I don't know.
That's a cute scene.
80s pop culture.
Yeah. Do you like that movie?
How do I know? I haven't seen it since probably the 90s. Who doesn't like Billy Crystal?
I know. Oh, and that cute Meg Ryan.
Oh, she's
just
delight.
A cute little face, a cute little.
Who doesn't love Meg Ryan?
That's who's in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think we got. Here's what I have been doing. Here's a good sanity tip for you Gen Xers out there. Go back and watch some 80s movies, because that's what I've been doing. I've been watching movies from the 80s and 90s, which is both delightful and horrifying.
Yeah.
Some of them hold up great and are actually just really good movies. Pretty Woman surprised me. I thought that was a delightful film.
Really?
Oh yeah, holds up like a champ.
No way. 100%. I might just have to go watch that one. If you'd asked me my opinion about whether it was going to hold up or not, I would have said absolutely not.
No.
Dan, I have to ask you about a movie.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Midnight Run?
Oh.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
Is this a recommendation or an avoidance?
No. I had never heard of the movie, right? And it turns out that I had never heard of it. And I apparently like it's been like has this like great reviews, right?
Okay.
It spawned a sequel and like some spin-off made-for-TV movies, right? And I'm like, how did I never hear about this? This is like crazy. And it was like this huge thing, like it was a big thing. And I'm trying to use it as like a test to see if like maybe I slipped onto an alternate like timeline, like because I already feel like this timeline's not mine, right? That I'm like, this could really be the proof, Dan.
It was like was it like a prison escape or something?
No, it's Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin. You're not far off. De Niro plays a bounty hunter, and he has to go get Charles Grodin, if that makes any sense, right?
Okay.
He's like he's an accountant on the run, right?
Oh yeah,
as happens. Yeah, wanted by the mob. He's wanted by everybody, right? And
When was this movie made? Do you know?
Like late 80s. Like I totally should have been aware of this movie. I'm very concerned that
welcome to 80s movies talk with Frank and Dan, everybody. Can I tell you what movie didn't hold up?
I'm asking everybody, and people are like, yeah, of course, I love that movie. And I'm just getting more and more freaked out, right? Like, I'm like, I honestly think that earthquake did something, like real.
Okay, so you've slipped into the time crack or whatever.
Yeah.
The rip in the space-time continuum where that movie does or doesn't exist depending on who you are.
Oh God.
I'll tell you what movie I watched that didn't hold up that will break some hearts out there, and we're probably going to get letters about this one. Goonies is a terrible turd of a film, and I don't know why we liked it. It's just
it was fun. It was a fun romp.
It is a goddamned mess, you guys. Go ahead and watch it if you want to. It is a mess. The script is terrible. It's like nothing makes any kind of sense. Yeah. They're halfway through all of their, like, they've made it past all of these treacherous things in their treasure hunt, and then they look up and they're just down the well that everybody's got. Like, what the everything is stupid. Everything in that movie is stupid. So anyway, there's that.
I'm probably not very sensitive to, like, you know, people with disabilities.
Oh my God, it's wildly offensive. Italians should be offended. Like, so many people should be offended by that movie. My intelligence was offended. Anyway, look, I think what we're getting at here is that watching movies is a good way to keep yourself sane.
Yeah, been doing a bit of it.
But I've done a lot of that, and I'll tell you this: I have to get myself out of the house too. So Dan's other recommendation for keeping your sanity: long walks. Go for walks. Go for drives if you can. Avoid other humans while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yell at your neighbors who are congregating, because oh my God, I've been hearing about. A friend of mine posted on Facebook. She looked out her window and someone was having. Get this, a fucking gender reveal party in their yard. like 30 people gathered around a pregnant woman during an international pandemic. What is wrong with the world? What is wrong with these people? So here's what you do. When you see something like that, do whatever you got to do to blow off steam. Scream at them, call the cops, whatever. But then don't let it get to you.
Yeah, where were they? Because technically, the groups of 10 or more are outlawed, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a law or if it's just a guideline. I don't know.
So Salt Lake County said that they were going to treat it as a misdemeanor. I can't remember how they were doing it. And the governor said, no, you can't do that. Salt Lake County hasn't reversed their opinion on it.
Good.
Like their stance. They're like just holding, they're like, well, fuck you. We're going to enforce this thing.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Then everybody,
so
then they should track
sent
down
the cops down to that thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
anyway,
God.
Here's the trick of a moment like that, and I've been seeing a lot of them. You know, you go to the park and God damn it,
pisses me off.
Right now. Drive past and I'm just like furious. But the trick is find a way not to let it get to you. And I think part of that's about like just acknowledging that humanity sucks and humans are not very good at humaning. So
right. Well, it sounds like you have a new hobby, which is like just judging and denouncing people.
To you guys. I do that for you, Frank, and for our listeners. I don't, I try to just say, okay, because here's the thing. I know how big a doofus I am.
Right.
I make mistakes all the time.
Right.
So it's not like I'm excluding myself from this pronouncement that humanity's kind of shitty.
Right.
I'm included in that. I'm a human. So it's not a judgment so much as it is just a means of like getting zen about the whole thing. And that leads me to another thing I've been doing, meditating.
Have you?
Oh yeah. I downloaded an app, and I got to do it. It's just
I love the desperation in your voice of just like, yes, I have.
You're not kidding. It is legit. I am not messing around. I need it. It's like
it's rough.
We need ways to keep our mind, to clear our minds, to release anger, tension, stress, because it is an angry, tense, stressful time.
What about like a hobby?
Oh yeah.
Have you been
now's an amazing time to
developing
create
new hobbies?
I was painting earlier today.
Shut up.
I was working in gouache. How about that?
Wow.
Still life, baby.
Wow. How is it? You should post some
Terrible.
pictures.
I am so bad at it. It's a nightmare. But the quality is not the point. The doing of the thing is the point.
Yeah. There's some interesting things going on, Dan. Apparently, people are like, I was like, really? People are going to be baking? Like when like you go to the supermarket right now and all the flour's like just gone.
Yeah.
Apparently, people are going nuts baking people are getting into sourdough right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like big time, right? They got all this time on their hands. Might as well. It's like people are baking.
Yeah.
That seems like a great release.
Yeah.
I took forever making dinner the other night. Like, just took forever. Like, everything was just like, wow, what's the longest thing I could possibly cook today?
I've been going sort of back and forth on that one. Like one meal I'll be like, let's get fancy. We've got time. Let's just do something fancy. And the next meal I'm like, fuck it, hot dogs. That's it.
No. You're not doing that, are you?
100%. Absolutely. I'm giving myself every break I can. If I want to not go nuts, if it's going to annoy me to make a big meal, I'm going hot dogs. I'm not like cereal is legit as far as I'm concerned, because what I'm looking out for is my mental health, and it's important.
Yeah. On the radio this morning, I was listening to like Morning Edition or whatever, and they they did a little rundown of like food that people have been making and then like posting on like, Instagram and whatnot.
Sure.
And the one that stood out to me was somebody posted a picture of melted cheese on a plate. They put cheese in a microwave and then ate it with some barbecue sauce. and
if it makes you happy, go for it.
It's just this list of horrifying things like that. And when the host of Morning Edition got to that one, she goes, actually, that one sounds pretty good.
Yes.
And I was just like heaving, like, oh my God, no.
All I'm saying is, here's what I'm not okay with. Don't waste food. Right now is not the time for wasting food.
Yeah.
At all.
I've been eating so many leftovers because, you know, we're obviously cooking. You have to.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like we're actually being, it's going to be interesting in some ways to see like what our actual like food budget for the month ended up being, because we're not eating out, right? We're just cooking everything, and it's all like, I mean, we had a couple little extravagances, you know, picked out some, you know, steaks and whatnot.
Sure.
But like the rest of it is all really pantry stuff, like good. It turns out really good, but like, you know, it's canned stuff and pasta and stuff that keeps, that's going to last through the week. And that's not how we normally eat, you know.
Yeah.
We go to the store.
Andrea and we're restaurant folk.
Yeah. Well, it's
in a normal part of the year when when both of our incomes are actually working, we go to restaurants a lot.
Yeah.
But not right now. That's just not how this works.
That's funny. Oh, Dan.
You guys, keep yourself sane out there. Do whatever you got to do. Don't judge yourself. Just know that like self-care is vital, so that we don't kill each other, because right now also like reports of domestic violence has skyrocketed because everybody's trapped with each other. So do whatever you have to do to make yourself feel good. and feel sane and healthy
and safe.
And you know what? We're open to suggestions. I'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, how are you guys doing it? How are you getting through?
Yeah, let us know.
We need ideas. We're running out.
We are dying on the vine here, people. So please write to us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click the like button.
And while you're there, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group, but we will let you in.
Yeah. Tweet at Frank.
And tweet at me.
At TGIAtheist.
That's correct.
Hey, speaking of social media, thanks so much to Mackenzie for all of her hard work on the Facebook page. Thanks to Danny and Amy for being moderators on the Members Only Lounge.
And a big thanks goes out to the Red Rock Hot Club and to Gordon Johnston for the use of their music.
And thanks to all of you for tuning in.
Yeah, no kidding.
Be gentle with yourselves and others this week, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye-bye.